tonight's episode, Triangle of Terror.
GearWebsites.com is your source for firearms-based playing cards and books. We also have mugs, shirts, and posters with designs that we've made live. Of course, we have patches. Every Friday is Free Patch Friday. We appreciate your support. Thank you for shopping at GearWebsites.com.
It's 11:59 at Radio Free America, and this is Uncle Sam with music and the truth until dawn. Right now, I got a few words for some of our brothers and sisters in the occupied zone. The chair is against the wall. The chair is against the wall. John has a long mustache. John has a long mustache. It's 12 o'clock, Americans, another day closer to victory. And for all of you out there on or behind the lines, this is your song.
And welcome everybody to our weekly wrap-up. So I was just over here listening to the Team House. They're live right now with this interview with the Chilean Special Operations Officer. Pretty interesting. I had to cut that off, though, to go live. Oh, let me jam this over here. We use about a third to a quarter of our screen size, depending on how you do the measurements for the comments. So we do this live to have a participatory situation. So thanks to the people that show up live. Kingpin is out there, DJ's out there, Harold. So good evening, and let's dig in. So we're going to use the video that we're in as the notes, so to speak, for this show. So as I open up the screen and make it a little bit bigger here so we can see it, we'll start digging in. So got a poll going over on for people that are watching this thing live. How was this week for 2A? Was it a great week? Was it a good week? Was it an okay week? Or did you think it was some kind of a bad week? Go ahead and vote over there. It's free. And that way we use another level of participation, another tool on the internet to have more interactivity with this whole thing. Pretty much, though, I'm just going to read the description of this video. So throughout the week, I open up the weekly wrap-up instance, or I schedule the show. And then throughout the week, I periodically will update the description of the video with the different things that I found throughout the week that are focused on Second Amendment in interesting and effective ways. I don't pay attention to news of the day or the distractions or the things that use our community and our mannerisms as mammals and humans and people live in the society. People use that against us. And this show is an effort to offer something more than an observation of what's going on. So yeah, we observe what's going on, but we do that with a focus on who's changing the game, who's doing things differently or in directions that are more effective than the typical standing around watching what we're supposed to pay attention to next. All right, so it has been a great week. If you voted for anything else, you're wrong, but we'll see what everybody says up there. Right now, Great Week is winning overwhelmingly with 7 votes. Looks like Makojo showed up. Tactical FUD. Sorry, I'm getting them out of order. Maybe I am getting them in order. Good. And then, did I already say DJ's out there? And Andrew, welcome everybody. All right, so if anybody's got things that they've found this week that are good and I missed them, let me know. We'll add them potentially to the list. I'm not guaranteeing nothing. So we only archive the most interesting content each week that focuses on what our Second Amendment protects. That's how I usually start this thing off. Let's take a look. I think the best thing this week was a video from today, from Gabby. So Gabby Franco moved here from Venezuela a couple of years back, and she's an Olympic shooter. She's a competition shooter. She's an advocate. I'm pretty sure she's in the DC project. She's got a lot going on. And this is a 4-minute video from earlier today, right? This is the 17th? No, from yesterday. And this is just kind of a quick edited informational video about her impressions as a Venezuelan on the situation that occurred in Venezuela. Lots of great points and definitely worth a couple of minutes of your time. And maybe leave a comment. Like I said, there's a lot of interesting points in that one. It's a lot of stuff in 4 minutes. All right, next up would be the Locked and Loaded Latino show on Saturday this week. We didn't get two of them. For some reason, we only got one this week. They did it on Saturday. I think they may be moving to Saturday. It's hard to tell. It was a good show again. They were basically following news of the day and trying to remember if anything stood out. I need to start reading some notes. So then we get to Tony, and was on Crump's show on Monday, and decent interview for a Crump interview, I'd say. Then we get to, these aren't in any order, I guess. I put them in order of how 2A they are, more than in order of chronological necessarily. So I probably have these out of order. It would be tough to say. The interview with Tony didn't stand out, I don't think, and there's nothing imminent coming out of it. So I'm going to go ahead and say that Brooks' effort on Saturday should be ahead of it, but at the same time, it was not a very long one this time. Let's see. I think this one actually was a good one. Brooke often brings good stuff to the table. In her what are we calling this? An effort each week to bring attention to the effort of suicide awareness and prevention. So this one was back to a shorter format. She'd been doing some interviews and some longer format things. And I need to start leaving some notes because I know that there was some things on each of these that, stand out, or points that were kind of hidden. And that's one of the things I'd like to start doing. So I need to start doing that better. All right. So then we get Gun Freedom Radio. They had a couple of shows this week, but a bunch of them were about politicians here in Arizona, which probably most people aren't going to be all that interested in, and have really not too much to do with Second Amendment. But this was an interview with Helen Moore, who works now with Armed Women of America, which is the Well-Armed Woman, right? So the Well-Armed Woman is name changing. They're pulling an artist formerly known as Budget Guns and Gear, and they're going to go try to make everybody start calling them the Armed Women of America, AWA. So I guess the good news is people didn't know about them, that it's not going to be a change for too many people. And the good news is, I don't know, the Well-Armed Woman and Armed Women of America. If you got an opinion on it, let me know what you think. Let's see. So anyway, that was an interesting article. I can remember that one more because Helen was not a gun owner. She was okay with guns. She wasn't a gun hater like a lot of the stories. Some of the stories we hear from older ladies, not older ladies, but ladies who are older in life or later in life get into firearms as opposed to being born into a family with firearms. So often I shouldn't say often, maybe often, when you hear stories of people, females, who jumped into guns as adults, maybe that's a better way to say it. Well, I'm going to say often. I don't want to say, no. Occasionally, most of the time, some of the time, the story involves they were against guns. Not because they were against guns, but because they were never given both sides of a story. And they tended to go with the side that was more convenient or appealed to them, which would have been the anti-side. And I think those stories, when we hear them, are interesting and inspiring to let people know that you can change your mind and that you would change your mind once presented with the facts. So that's what this is. Helen wasn't against guns. She wasn't working against guns or anything like that. She just wasn't an advocate. She just was probably more like what you would call somebody who just took them for granted, right? Takes not necessarily the guns for granted, but what the gun ownership provides to the country and society, probably took that for granted without much thought. Once she became part of the Well-Armed Woman, which is now the Armed Women of America, a couple of months back, a year ago, she started getting more involved in firearms and is now more of an advocate as a person in the organization. So anyways, interesting to hear about the growth of an organization. And as something grows, unless the people become giants and just become larger to facilitate the growth of the organization, you probably have to grow with more people. Like I say, instead of larger people, you go to just more people. And when you bring more people in, guess what happens then? You get different people because you can't just clone people. That's illegal. So you bring more people in, different people in, and now you get people that don't have the same life history. They don't have the same ambitions, the same goals, the same dedication, or the same focus that the people that started an organization are going to have. So one of the gauges or one of the characteristics you can use to determine how an organization is doing, its trajectory, its potential for success or failure would be if those new people coming in have a similar passion, if they're able to convey that more than interest, that dedication or that devotion to what the firearms mean in this case, right? It'd be an indication of if the people joining the organization are there for the paycheck, if they're there for the fame and fortune, or fame and notoriety, or if they're there for a reason. So it's an interesting article. Feel free to listen to it and let us know what you think. Or make your own content focused on Gun Freedom Radio, which is worth it, or Helen Moore, which is probably worth it. I don't know. And then, or the Armed Women of America, and the whole plight of them to change their name in a time of internet where it's, it's possible. Is it advisable? I don't know. Anyway, focus on any of that. It benefits everybody. So now I'm going to go over here. A non-gunner? I don't know. I feel like non is an awesome bread, so I don't like to put non into non-gunner type of format. There's no kind of bread called anti-bread, so I'm okay with anti-gunner. Plus, anti has a connotation that makes them sound like they're angry and against it, and if that makes somebody who's on the fence start to think about it because they're being accused of being against something that they may or may not be, then isn't that a good idea? But non is an excellent bread, and I hate to go around putting non into the format of into the realm of the antis. Armed Woman of America Outdoor Journal. There's Women in Outdoor Media, WOMA, Women of Outdoor Media. We say guys and gals at gun websites because there's this chick that hangs out here, and Angie was one. She wasn't the first founder or nothing of WOMA, but in 2009 when we went to the NRA show, Angie was hanging out with us, and she started to do interviews and stuff from a girl's point of view because girls are allowed to be on the internet and all that, and they like guns and stuff. So she started to do videos at NRA show 2009 with us, and then went with me to NRA show 2010, and WOMA sniffed around and tried to get her to join. Got her to join, and then left her hanging. So I don't have a lot of love for WOMA, but that was one situation with one chick they ran under the bus. But they're probably a good organization aside from that. They have a lot of good people in it now. So I don't know what Armed Women of America Outdoor Journal is, but we do have WOMA, and I think they have an outdoor journal. There might be also a woman's outdoor journal now that I think about it, but I don't know them. Contrary to what? I'm contrary to that opinion. So Brooke is way impressive in bringing light and positivity to a possibly heavy topic. I guess I don't think that's her only goal. She does do it because she's a nice person or whatever, but she's like positive or whatever, not gloomy or weird. But I think she's really just trying to give people tools to have more effective conversations, and then by normalizing it, making it less intimidating or less uncomfortable for us to approach the subject. So I guess that's exactly what you're saying. So okay, I'll go. I guess I'll begrudgingly agree to you. Some people think guns are icky because they never really think about them. Hell yeah. Especially what if they just were minding their business and someone's like, hey, you want to look at this gun? And then they showed them a 9mm gun. Anybody in their right mind is going to go, guns are stupid if that's what guns are. This is a stupid metric thing. Get this away from me. And that's whose fault is that? The person who's just minding their business, or that reckless gun owner shooting an inferior caliber and wiping it on people? I believe 9mm was the culprit right there. All right, back to it. Next is Fudbusters. So that's a show that was on earlier right now, like a minute ago. This week they did a different format, I guess. No, I'm just trying to play devil's advocate, but I couldn't devil's advocate that when I was on your side with that one. This show was more of a format that I dig. I don't know if they watch this. They probably don't. But this format where they did a couple of different subjects, added them as chapters, and then didn't fart around too much. Pretty decent format. You got to want to deal with their attitude and their point of view, I guess. But if you can deal with that, or if you're interested in listening to someone else's point of view, if you don't agree with them, I think the presentation is good and the focus is dead on. Like the production value and the focus is what it's all about. They talk about things and they have positions that you might not agree with, but what the hell. Then we got the weekly bullet. And was there anything good about this one? I should be leaving notes. Who was on it this week? You had Beth and Mike. So yeah, this was a good one. This was the one here. Look at right here. Beth pointed out that the AR-15 is a rifle that's easy to use and practical or effective for smaller people, people that are new to guns, females, people that might not be ready for an M1 Garand, big giant heavy wooden and steel gun. So Beth made a couple of good points during that one. Mike used to bring some good stuff to the table. Might be worth your time to watch that one. And now we get to combat story. So I started out this thing talking about the team room. I don't know if I put them in here or not, but we'll talk about that one in a second. This one, however, I guess I didn't put the title of it in here. I'll have to go change that. But this combat story is an interview, a military interview show where the host is a former Apache attack helicopter pilot. And then after he quit doing that, he was in the CIA as an operator. So now he's out and doing these interview shows. He's up to number 62. And these are typically an hour to 2 hours at the most. And in this one, he interviews his father, who was a pilot from Vietnam, a helicopter pilot in Vietnam. If you've seen the movie We Were Soldiers, where the helicopter pilots dropped those dudes into that one of the first firefights as air cav into Vietnam, that's the kind of pilot his dad was. So they have a pretty awesome 2-hour discussion, like a really awesome 2-hour discussion, actually. Definitely worth your time. If you're into aviation, if you're into Vietnam stuff, if you're into military stuff, if you're into that kind of insight, or if you just want to see the dynamic of a helicopter pilot from Vietnam that had 3 sons and 2 of them are pilots and one of them is something else in the military, and he's talking to his son for 2 hours, 2 generations of combat aviators, is pretty interesting to listen to. And Combat Story is awesome and definitely one of the best combat story episodes yet. And that was this week. Let's see, we got a couple of things coming out of Yeager's channel. Massad Ayoob is going to be going to Camden. So if you're going to go to a Massad Ayoob Mag 20 class, okay, you've made that decision. It's time to make my life better and have attended a Massad Ayoob class. There's basically 2 types of people in the world: people that have been to a Massad Ayoob class and people that haven't and are butthurt about it or sore, angry, bitter. I don't know what it's like to be in that part anymore because it's been so long since I was in that group of people. But as somebody who is in the enlightened group who has experienced Massad Ayoob in real life, you'll see that he isn't magic or somehow a guru or nothing, as much as just a real dude, a really cool guy. He's like a grandpa, and he's got an immense, experience level that he keeps adding to. And because he's, I don't know what the word is, like has a brain that allows him to keep all those memories and stuff. He's super bright. He's getting brighter and smarter. He's able to articulate and interestingly recall a lot of that data. And so in other words, you're not listening to a tape recorder. A lot of people who you won't hear me ever talk about, there's a lot of people out there that are tape recorders. They have their thing that they came up with, and every time they talk, they're just hitting play. They already recorded it a long time ago. Massad Ayoob's the opposite. The people that stand out are the people that are real, right? The authentic people that are creating and part of the whole thing. And Massad Ayoob literally has been one of the first traveling instructors from the old days, incorporating and adapting and facilitating all these years, and not just observing and adding, but instead participating and creating, as both a competitive shooter, as someone who's an expert witness, and as law enforcement, and as an instructor at a level that's unique. So having an opportunity to attend a Massad Ayoob class is more than just a massive feather in the cap. It's literally an experience that I can't recommend enough. If you think about every single video we do, we try to end with take a CCW class every year, and then all the rest. The reason for that is because when I first got into this whole thing, sharing our Second Amendment and what it protects, the experience of the Second Amendment in the United States and what it protects. What it protects is a community, is a part of society, is an aspect of our culture. And Massad Ayoob just is such a neat part of that. So anyway, all we are is an accumulation of experiences. We're definitely not an accumulation of items. So if you'd like to create an experience that lets you transcend to another level, I recommend experiencing Massad Ayoob. So if you're going to do that, you've made that decision to be in the group of people that have attended a Massad Ayoob class, right? Where are you going to do that? You're going to do it in Florida? That might be actually pretty cool. Are you going to do it conveniently to your home like I've always done it? I've done it a couple of times. I didn't always do it conveniently to my home. Or are you going to travel a little bit and go to it? There's a little bit different when you travel to a class. That's a whole other thing we could talk about sometime. But if you're going to make the decision to have attended a Massad Ayoob class, and it isn't cheap, so you're going to make a decision to do it. You're not going to casually observe it. You're going to be dedicated and make the decision, and then it's going to hurt a little bit potentially unless you're a billionaire. And if you're a billionaire, you're probably already taken the class. And if you're a billionaire, then why aren't you supporting people like KD and the Train and Learn event that happens May 29th in Missouri? You could go to that class or maybe sponsor a bunch of people. I know a couple of people listening to this show who'd love to be sponsored to go to KD's Train and Learn event. All right, so if you're not a millionaire and you've decided you're going to take the extra effort and cost and go the extra mile to attend a Massad Ayoob class, why not do it at Yeager's place in Camden? I mean, of all the instructors I've experienced, and it's only like 12 that I've personally had classes with and maybe another 20 that I've experienced, these two are literally the two that I would recommend. They're in my top 3. Like, it would first, if you're going to become an actual interested person in firearms, you need to have experienced Massad Ayoob and Yeager. And I don't care, you can fight me on that. Like, let's compare resumes and let's talk about it. Realistically, you can talk to people who've never been anywhere. They'll have opinions. Or you can talk to people that have attended these classes. And these are the two most solid dudes, most solid humans I know. I wouldn't even be in the gun community if there weren't solid humans in it. And these are two of the most solid humans that I can recommend. So attending a Massad Ayoob class in Camden, epic. That would be like hanging out with Elvis in Graceland. Except maybe it'd be like hanging out with Elvis at Hunter S. Thompson's pad, shooting guns. It would be that level in 2A. Let's see. So I'm going to recommend that. Go check out that video. You get the details. Next, they're doing a series. They've been doing series over on Yeager's channel about prepping and that kind of thing. So they do this one on diabetes in a disaster, which is pretty interesting. It wasn't super long, and it's not like it's a medical debrief or nothing, but interesting. And as someone who doesn't deal with diabetes or have to, I'm not burdened with that myself, or somebody in the family isn't. So I'm just not familiar with it. So it's a quick primer for somebody who might not have dealt with it before. And as an EMT, I can tell you they did a pretty decent job, it seems like, describing the stuff. It reminded me of all the stuff I had to remember from back in the day, but everything I know is decades old. So obviously time has gone on. Did I take the class? Does that mean I'm a billionaire? No, I took the class because I was building websites at the time, and I built a website for somebody who hosted the class. So I kind of got the class in trade. No, I'm super cheap, dude. I can't afford to do nothing. Could have been last year in Nebraska. I'm still bummed. I am bummed for you. Is Mas the best instructor in the nation? I realize there are many great ones. Massad Ayoob is the best for certain things, and everybody's got their own interests. But let's say there was the best old-fashioned gun, like revolver instructor, and let's say there was the best H&K MP5 instructor, and let's say there was the best like shotgun game, like 5-stand or skeet or something, like the best instructor for that. We'd deal with that, right? We'd be like, okay, all those instructors can be the best. What people can't understand is that there can be similar differences. Is that the right thing to say? So when you talk about Massad Ayoob, you're talking about somebody who, from my understanding, grew up in a pawn shop, jewelry store type of situation in a city. And I don't remember if it was New York or Newark or something like that, or somewhere else. And just living in, growing up in a business that it could be robbed. They carried firearms. So he was one of us that grew up with firearms, but grew up with firearms in his pocket with the knowledge he might need to use it against, to defend. And then I think his story is law enforcement, and then wrote a book, and I forgot how the book came around, and there was a competitive shooter, and then an instructor. So that's his route, or that's his origin story, where other origin stories would be grew up, went into the military, did something, became an instructor, got out, became an instructor, some variation of that. Other options are, I was a competitive shooter and started to teach, and then my teaching evolved. You've got military origin stories, and then you've got nowadays all different kinds of origin stories. But is he the best instructor in the nation? So there's different types of instructors, and Massad Ayoob's instruction is 50% lecture classroom, 50% range. Other instructors are all classroom or all range, or some kind of mix, right? So keeping in mind that he's not either or, right? He's both, and he's not like, oh, well, he's kind of okay at both. I think most people agree he's probably top levels for classroom, because his ability to transfer information with the English language is amazing. Like anything I've ever done to be better and more clear in my ability to communicate comes from emulating Massad Ayoob. And I'm not doing it well, but he definitely gets a lot of information out there in a way that you can recollect it. You've heard it. It came in like an effective. It was laid out in a way that can be recalled, and it's given to you in fast forward. You don't realize that you got it, but when you go back to think about it, it was given to you in a system, in a format that can be recalled, and then you have the information. So that aspect of Massad Ayoob lecture is unique. Some people will hate it, I guess, or not like it, or not work with it, or hate Massad Ayoob's voice or something, and they're going to differ with me. But that part of it is certainly unique, and most people say that will agree with me there. Now, his range instruction is different, again, than everybody else's, but not different like shotgun and rifle, different like different life experiences and different focus on what's important. So Massad Ayoob will be fast and consistent. He'll offer a way to shoot, let's say, like not so much the direct stance, but like some, have a good shooting position, or have a good shooting stance. I don't think he forces you. He may ask you to go through, it's been a while, I think there is a requirement to kind of go through different stances where other instructors don't care about your stance or very much care about your stance. Some instructors, you're there to learn how they hold a gun and emulate it. Other instructors don't care about that. They care about other things. So that part is not something they focus on. Massad Ayoob focuses on it, but doesn't insist on more than just experiencing different things. His, if I remember correctly, his attitude or his approach is to do what's comfortable, but experience it all before you discount. So he'll have you go through, and he has quite a few levels of instruction. And I suspect what he'll do is have you experience even more and more, and look at it logically and without a lot of bias, I suspect. So he'll have you probably go through different techniques and explain the pros and cons and let people decide what works for them. Somebody who's tall is going to have different preferences than somebody who's left-handed, and they're going to have different preferences than somebody that has a issue with one of their eyes, right? Like we're all going to have things that make what would work for us or could work for us, or some people would say should work for you, not work for you. And Massad Ayoob isn't tripped up in all that. Some people don't like his technique. He does a technique of shooting which emulates your body conditions under stress. So as someone who comes at it cerebrally and physiologically, I don't know if I'm using the words right, but from the way your brain is thinking about it and from the way your body reacts to stress, Massad Ayoob has you shoot in a condition so that you emulate all that. And there's people that can't get that through their head and don't agree with that. There's some people that would rather have you shoot with a teacup and your pinky out. Some people want you to shoot with mud in your eye and biting on a bullet. And other people want you to think about daisies and have music going while there's incense playing. Like, everybody's got their own ideas of what's best. Massad Ayoob has this concept of shooting with a tight grip and under the conditions that you would probably be in under a lot of stress and chaos. And then I guess the concept is you shoot that way and you're going to be able to shoot under pressure. Whereas if you shoot in a square range, everything's fine. Don't worry about nothing. Load your magazine and worry about the rules of the range. And then what you're doing, people that have a problem with that would suggest that you get the situations that happen in Florida, where people are in the middle of a firefight trying to pick up their brass because they've conditioned themselves into bad habits. So if there's that's the main bullet points that I remember from Massad Ayoob's. It's also super expensive compared to garbage, right? If you got some guy who's like, well, I can do what that guy does and I can charge $100 for it, then Massad Ayoob is really expensive compared to garbage. He's more expensive than people that have been around for a while, and that rubs people the wrong way if they think that money is all that matters. But I don't know, try to get anybody you have any respect for to sit down and instruct a bunch of people and offer their time and participation as being an expert witness for every alumni. Get somebody else to do that for any cost, for any price. People that think Massad Ayoob is too expensive compare him with garbage and find that they can buy garbage for free, right? So that's another part of it, that people can't deal with the cost, and they think that a unique individual should be available for free or for low cost often. So that's a little bit more on Moss, but I don't care. Moss is going to Camden. I think it's pretty neat. You're probably not going to get those, years and years and years unless Moss starts hanging out in one of them pressure tubes, taking 20 years off his RNAs. But until we can get him to go into one of them things, he's falling out of helicopters. So at some point he's going to keep screwing around and then not be traveling. All right, so that was the billionaire one. Liquid humans are weird. I don't know what that was. There's New York Outcast out there. If you need a stand, you can, somebody could throw a link out there and you could buy a thing that goes up into your magwell, holds your gun on a counter so that you can take a look at it, take pictures, have it behind you in a YouTube video. Just enjoy the thing that you spent hundreds of dollars on. And it's made in New York. Vertebrae knuckles. I don't know what that's all about, but if you tried to stick your fingers into vertebrae to use them as knuckles, I would recommend cow or bigger. Bunch of links up here. Thanks for that. It is Free Patch Friday, and everybody's pre-orders are out. So that means everything I got left is fair game, potentially. So that means there's a lot of Free Patch Friday stuff happening. Only one order, whatever that order is that just happened, thanks to whoever ordered something. That's the only person that even ordered anything today. My father took a class with Mr. Ayoob 30 years ago. He would say, call him Mas. He's a nice guy. He's like a grandpa or uncle or something. So he's just gonna be like, I don't think I'd have heard anybody heard him call him Mr. Ayoob, except for maybe some of you didn't know him, introducing him in front of a group of people or something. And then I'm sure the first thing he would say is like, just call me Mas. I wouldn't care about a voice. Oh no! If you listen to Moss talk, some people can't handle it. He definitely talks in a way that, as somebody who's talked in a lot of rooms without microphones, if that makes sense, like a drill instructor, he talks like a drill instructor, or like a teacher, right? Somebody who stood in front of a bunch of people who are hard of hearing for years. And that's the other thing. Gun instructors understand that none of us can hear. Other instructors are used to people who every time they have an itch or a scratch, they go to a doctor and have it all rubbed out. The rest of us don't hear nothing. So Moss talks loud enough so we can hear him. Let's see. So this turned into a commercial for Moss, which I don't have any problem. He doesn't even have to pay me. I'm happy to do a commercial for Moss whenever I can. He's awesome. And getting back to the video here, he's going to be in Camden, so that means he's going to be at Yeager's place. It's the Mag 20, so it's the classroom part of Massad Ayoob's MAG 20, Massad Ayoob group. All right, and then you got the diabetes one we talked about. So next is Gun Owners of America. All right, they're doing stuff that's good or whatever. That's nice. This one is called How to Know If a Candidate is a 2A Warrior or a Grifter. And it's like 3 minutes long, so it's not very long. And again, they're doing something, which is better than not doing something. It's 3 minutes long. But what they do is show examples of current candidates and complain about them. It's not necessarily a how-to guide on how to get a set of skills, like here's a set of skills or a set of criteria to use for all candidates going forward, or potentially, you know, here's a set of parameters to use, and then we can modify this as we go forward as the thing, you know, the characteristics change. But yeah, whatever. I'm disillusioned because this year is an opportunity for us to really turn up the heat and to unify as a country or as a group of people, because the antis are literally disabled. They're not able to do anything. This is not a time to gloat or to rest. It's a time to win. And I don't like to see three-letter organizations that are supposed to be on our side resting. This seems like resting, but let me know. Disagree with me. It's 3 minutes long if you want. Watch it and tell me if I'm wrong about that. But to me, I was all excited to see like a how-to guide. How can we empower all of us to know if each of our local, state, and federal level candidates are bullshit or not? Instead, it was like, here's 3 individuals and they don't like guns. Let's see. Then we got Riding Shotgun with Charlie on Meet the Pressers. So this is a quick video talking about how they're gonna do something in the future. I think it's next week or something. They're gonna have on Ashley Hablinski, who is the girl that ran, am I allowed to say that? The chick who ran the Cody Firearms Museum. If I'm older than them, they're girls, right? I'm allowed to say that. So, and now she's here in Arizona doing something. She's like Logan, one of our 2 firearms historians that we have. She'll be up at the rally tomorrow. So we have a 2A rally in Arizona. Let's talk about that. Other states don't care about the Second Amendment that much and barely ever have rallies. Here in Arizona, we have more than one rally every year. One of the rallies happens in February. It's called the Second Amendment Rally. And this is the 9th year of that rally. So if you got nothing else to do tomorrow and your private jet has a bunch of fuel just sitting there cooking off on it and you're looking for something to do, fly on down to Arizona or up to Arizona. I don't know where you are. And hang out at our 2A rally. It'll be from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Literally thousands and thousands of people will be there. It'll be amazing. Bunch of different speakers show up. There's a big area for people to hang out and listen to those speakers and congregate, hang out, and just kind of be like at a, maybe a parade or a rally, I guess. But then around the perimeter of the thing, around the perimeter of the crowd, you're going to find booths set up for a couple of different companies. This is capitalism, of course. So people selling some stuff, but also organizations and projects that are focused on Second Amendment activities. You get an opportunity to meet people like Chris and Jeff Knox, talk about their book, about their dad's stuff. You can meet others. There's probably be some politicians there. It is a midterm election year, but organizations, again, that are in the fight or bringing new possibilities for the fight, new angles and new angles, new positions to approach the antis. One of the things I've enjoyed over the last couple of years is learning about those new avenues, those new angles. Not every single one of them is ideal, but they show that we have alternatives. They bring more people to the focus, and they give us all more words for our toolboxes, like more stuff to learn. So did I drop the link? Yeah, I guess I did. So if you want to hang out in Arizona, just fly your private jet to Arizona tomorrow, or you could pay a bunch of money for a commercial flight like a sucker. Next up in the list, and I was talking about Riding Shotgun with Charlie. I don't think he'll be here tomorrow, but Ashley Hablinski will be. Let's see, Dragonman's RV park is coming soon. So Dragonman is awesome, and he posted a video earlier today where he talked about his RV park coming. Highly recommend checking out Dragonman and the, dang it, I want to say Wilson Family Museum. They haven't posted a video in a minute, so nope. The Williams Family Museum. Highly recommend checking out both of those two museums and checking them out on YouTube. Dragonman's 182,000 subscribers. He's bigger than me now. I only have 169,000. Dragonman has finally beat me, and he's growing. The Williams Family Museum YouTube channel barely has 100 subs, so you could go over to that one. Actually, let me give you that link real quick. And I'm sure they would appreciate a subscription. Give them some incentive to keep pushing out videos of the collection. Imagine a family's collection, and grandpa and the grandkids make videos about a massive collection that now that grandpa is retired, they're kind of sharing with folks. This is a museum that's up in northern Nevada, and it's a private museum, but it's been available. And the people that it's been available to are the folks that they bring out to their ranch, to their farm or whatever, to do hunts. And these are people who are differently abled or have had issues. And then like scout troops and that kind of thing, 4-H groups and that kind of thing. So they let the kids come out, give the kids private tours of the massive, amazing collection. And now the grandpa is retired. They're kind of moving that towards bringing more people in and creating the videos to archive some of the history of somebody that's gone to the effort of collecting all this stuff. Rarely do you have a disinterest in what you're collecting, right? You have a massive passion and probably an encyclopedic like knowledge or awareness of all the different things. And he's sharing that, and it's a family affair. It's really cool. Pretty cool stuff. So you can go check that out. Oh, no, like I say, I have 115,000 subscribers. So you could be one of the first 200 subscribers. And then hopefully in a couple weeks, we'll do the 1000ing of the Williams Family Museum. Next, let's see what's going on out here. G23. Did I already send you stuff? I don't think I sent you anything. You didn't get a pre-order, did you? I don't know what your real name is. The problem is, though. And I'm trying to remember what I don't think I sent anything to Oregon. But anyway, yeah, you got a sewing machine waiting for you. Glock patches, I think I might have one or two. I don't know. Glock ones I did put out in there. I know that for sure. Oh, okay. G23 is buying Every Second Matters patches. Every Second Matters patches, remember, don't come from me. They come from the Beacon Group. So Beacon Group is, let's go over here to the store. And if you go to Every Second Matters and you click on them, why does it say they're sold out? Oh, you can't buy a 4-pack anymore. So if you go to this one, let's say, and you look down in here, oh, I guess I don't write it on here anymore. So that's why how would anybody know? So what do I don't write it on any of these? Oh, crap. I need to write it in there again. Anyway, the patches come from the Beacon Group, and oh, yeah, I don't have it on any of them. Well, thanks for, I guess I'm glad I said this because now I can go in there and edit that. Beacon Group is it's a facilitation place here in Tucson. It's basically a warehouse. I keep the patches over there. They charge me, I think, $20 or something for each month just to have the patches over there. And then when somebody orders them from our gear website store, I just click a button and it lets them know the order came in, and then they facilitate it. They put the patches into the envelope and send it. And then I get a bill for the shipping and the surcharge, right? And I'm happy to pay that surcharge because they employ, it's not some government suck up like grant business. They employ differently abled folks and give them all kinds of interesting jobs. And our Every Second Matters project, from what I'm told, is one that they enjoy because it's a change of pace and it's a little bit different than some of the other assembly and other projects that they work on. So Every Second Matters is an effort to get people to think about the Second Amendment on the second day of each month, but I keep the patches over there. So I appreciate it, but the reason I explain that, I don't touch them. I don't get an opportunity to put anything in those. So thanks for purchasing those, but I'm still going to I got to send you something in a separate envelope. So I'll get you those sewing machines and stuff. But I got to remember My printers are down right now, and all my printed parts are laying all around, and I don't remember if there was a pile of stuff for you or not. I can't remember I think the last thing I did is taking the G23 like up at an angle and putting the Glock in 3 dimensions in the middle of it, but I sent you that already, right? I can't remember. So I have these sort of like piles of stuff for some people that do live shows and stuff, but I also wanted to get you some, now that I've gotten rid of all of them, I know I don't need any more for the pre-orders. I can send you out some of the stuff so you can have stuff for giveaways too. Let's see. Pushy Glock guys are the worst, not teachers. I don't know about that. MMP guys are the absolute worst. Exactly. Anybody that has a gun that needs an interchangeable backstrap, that's just too. That's too. Those people need too much caring. What's that called? No, not too much upkeep. Let's put it that way. They're having a slap fight out here. Somebody killed this one already. Oh, you did get a pre-order? Dang it. Then I probably didn't even realize, because I don't keep track of y'all's real name. Your name is G23. I know you probably have some other name, but I don't know what it is. Okay, so I guess that was the caught up in the chats now. So now I'm going back over. I believe we were at Dragonman's being awesome and opening up his RV park. He's going to have 50 spots in his RV park. They got an awesome view of Pikes Peak. Let's open this up real quick. Take a quick look. So Dragonman is awesome. There he is hanging out at his 40 acres that he bought, and he put his RV park there. He's talking about the things. He tells you about the different stuff you can check out in Colorado Springs. There's all kinds of cool stuff. He shows you just a chunk of them. But then Dragonman is not going to be outdone. So he takes his camera dude, shoves him in the bucket of this loader, and then drags the dude up into the air so that you can look all around. So there's Pikes Peak with all the snow on it if you look west from Dragonman's place. So now this is Dragonman's place. We're looking west. This is the paintball. What do you call them? Like courts? I don't know what you call paintball fields. Fields, maybe? There's Dragonman's shooting ranges, and that's Dragonman's dirt bike tracks. And that's the entrance to Dragonman's. And then Dragonman's shop and museum is up there in front of us. There's Dragonman hanging out, doing his thing. That's how cool Dragonman is. And he's just out there doing that kind of stuff all the dang time. Let's see. So now we get back to business. So I don't know. Does anybody know who Obsidian Arms is? I don't know who they were. Oh, okay. I won't remember that, but I appreciate it. When I was as I've been doing, I'm still in the midst of it, but as I've been doing the research on the different CCW insurances, actually, why am I opening up this? I think this is one that, what did I do and put this one up here for? Yeah, this, come on, man. All right, well, we're not playing ads. So anyway, I put this one up there because it gives an idea of the kind of comparisons that are out there. Then we get to some of our videos. So Barbecue's kid is selling Girl Scout cookies, and I guess she gets something. She gets to lord it over all the other Girl Scouts if she sells more than anybody. So you can buy Girl Scout cookies off of her. There's a link. I didn't put a link here, but you can get a link on my video if you click on this, and then that'll take you to Barbecue's kids Girl Scout cookie page. Yeah, you don't have to put barbecue sauce on the Girl Scout cookies like he does, and they're not cheap, but I don't think they ever were cheap, right? I never had to buy them back in the day, so never had to think about it. But yeah, it turns out they're more expensive than regular cookies, but it's because they're fundraising. Girl Scouts are taking horking a chunk out of there. I'm sure the cookie company doesn't do it for free, and then the girls at the end, I don't know what they do. Pay for things that girls do. Cook and type, I guess. Then we got the thousanding. Barbecue finally joined the 1,000 club. So here's how it works. There's people in the world that have 1,000 subscribers on their YouTube channel, And then there's people in the world that don't have 1,000 subscribers on the YouTube channel. That I know what it's like, because I got lots of channels that don't have 1,000 subs, so I feel you. I know what it's like. But then I got other channels that have more than 1,000 subs. So whenever I feel like I can just walk into another room and not understand you people, but then I come back over here and it could be one of the people. It's pretty nice. Just have a whole bunch of YouTube channels, make a couple of them have a couple 100,000 subs, and you'll know what it's like. Let's see. So you can subscribe to his channel if you want. And then we had Ask Gun Questions. I think we had a pretty good one again this week. This one was, I think, another long one. Tony Simon joined us, so he'll be joining us in the future if he's got, if he's able. Like, he does things on Saturdays, but he'll join us if he's able. And that'll give us 4 people who grew up with guns and have had different lives and live in different parts of the country, but come together on Saturdays and answer gun questions. So AskGun.com is a website I bought like in 2007 or something, and over the years it's just been an interesting project to use it to facilitate answering questions for people that might be about guns. And in this case, now we have 4 different perspectives to bring. So if you've got a specific question, feel free. If you got a general question, we'll tell you when we don't know, and then we'll just ramble if we feel like it. But becomes a good way to exchange information about something that is frustrating. For me as a real gun owner, having all these brand new fake gun owners come along, it's frustrating because we want them to be real. It's just, it takes like a lifetime to get real. So we got to somehow fast forward a lifetime's worth of knowledge into them. So it's not that big a challenge. We just have to figure out how to matrix a bunch of gun knowledge into these new gun owners so that they can just keep up. But until then, we're going to fall for every 9mm that comes along. Let's see. So we had a fire chat. We might do that tomorrow night after the rally, maybe, depending on how cold it is. And now we'll go over to Instagram. Let's see. Shipping was fast for 3 to 4 days. Oh, see, it was not fast for me. When I bought them, they said something like, blah, blah, blah. Like, I bought them before SHOT Show, and they showed up after SHOT Show. But I think I bought them because, it was because I bought them before they were shipping. I think it said something in there like they're not going to ship until mid-February. So if you just recently bought yours, or if you buy them from now on, or from this day on, they probably ship right away. I don't think they were even baked yet. Like, the lazy Girl Scouts hadn't even baked all the cookies when I bought them. All right, so let's take a look at the poll. So 38% of the people are wrong and think that this was only an okay week for 2A. Here's why you're wrong. Not only the stuff we mentioned here, but if you do get to all the distractions and all the stupid news of the week, think about it. The only news that they can even come up with is garbage. That makes it a good week for 2A. When you look at the garbage that they threw out there, it's old wrinkled pieces of paper that they pulled out of a trash can that they've already thrown in the trash can 3 times. Nothing that has been brought to bear is brand new or good. Like, it's all garbage that's been efforted over the years. They're only rewinding and throwing out old reruns at us. That is not an indication of an okay week. If that's the reason people voted for that, that's an indication that it's time that your opponent is weak, that your opponent is tired, and your opponent can no longer bring out rational defense or attacks. Like, it's just only able to do reflex. So again, time for national level organizations to quit observing, to actually offer leadership. They don't have to offer a direction as much as point a finger and aim us at a couple of strategic goals, or offer resources, instructions on how people can get to those goals, offer debate or discussion about which goals are the best. They could definitely be doing more than just waiting to observe whatever's thrown at us next. So this week indicates or some of the news this week indicates that what they're giving us is weak. So these are all indications that our adversaries are failing. So that, to me, makes it a great week. Then we had some awesome conversations this week, and that you don't know about, I heard some amazing news this week that is actually, what's the word for this? Like, I heard some stuff that was maybe going to happen from SHOT Show as a result of stuff that happened at SHOT Show. I got confirmation that it did happen and it's still happening. So everything that I was alluding to in the past about SHOT Show being a pretty good year, from what I can tell, I've actually got confirmation that that is in fact the case. And I don't care if I'm being vague. In real life, I'm talking to people behind the scenes and they're actually getting things done, like things are happening. The consequences of that take a minute because the results will then blossom. So you plant a seed and you find out if it grows. And then once you find out if it grows, you harvest something, a flower, a seed, right? Food or whatever the plant is, watermelons or corn or whatever. So seeds were planted. We got plants coming up. We're seeing fruit on the vine. So it isn't pickled in a jar ready to consume, but it's a hell of a lot further than just planting seeds and hoping. And it's leaps beyond before, where we had all this fertile land and nobody even planting seeds. Last couple of years, people have been planting seeds, 2A discussions, 2A projects, 2A focus things at SHOT Show. SHOT Show is the fertile ground. Seeds are the interjections of Second Amendment projects. This year, not only did a lot of seeds start to grow, like the DC project turned SHOT teal, like the the girls, what the hell was it? What is it? Girls Who Shoot? No. What was the one out at the media day? Why can't I think of that girls' organization? Anyway, there was a massive presence of a female organization out at the media day, and other organizations represented at SHOT Show that had never gotten booth space or had an opportunity for their booth to be in places that could be as effective as what happened this year. And let's go back to here and open up Minuteman instead of stupid iTunes, and then all right, well, now I can't remember what I was looking up, so I'm going to keep going. All right, so that was the fireside chat. Was I on IG already? So now we're going to Instagram. What was I riffing on there? Yuck. Where did we have that okra discussion the other day? Let's see. Ghost is out there. She only likes firearms that cost. I don't know what you guys are talking about. All right. So now we'll get into the Instagram. Well, were we talking about the poll? I don't know where I got off on that tangent. Oh, I think that was what I was saying. It was an okay week. I think you're all wrong. I think this was a great week for 2A. And I think that's what I was trying to say, is all those reasons why it was a good week for 2A. All right, now we'll get back over to Instagrams. So I'm just going to go over to Instagrams. Oh, I guess I have been going for an hour. I'm about to get after corked by Gizzard because he's after corking me. He's flexing with an after cork, but I don't care. So we're going to go over to Instagram, take a quick look at what we posted, and then we'll go look at the stuff that we hork off of the Instagram to look at. So I was talking about the stuff going out. There's the bags as evidence. I put a dog in front of it for scale. And there's another view with the dog long ways to show the scale. This is the one going to DJ. This one of these is going to Woods. I can't remember which one. I think one of those. Wait a minute. No, I don't remember. Woods might not be in there. Did Woods get a thing? I really don't remember. I stayed up all night making these stupid things, so I guess I might be a little fried on that. But they're all out. This is what they looked like when they got here. Oh, wait, I thought, is there a picture of the bag of them or the box of them? I guess I have a picture of the box somewhere else. But this is what they look like. And then this is the amount of loot that went out with them. So we had enough loot to send out a SHOT Show patch with every single patch. So if you got 2, then you got 2 SHOT Show patches. If you got 3, then you got 3 SHOT Show patches. If you got 3 and I know who you are and you were Patreon, then you got more than that. And I still got stuff left over. So I wasn't sure how it would work out because, you know, a lot of times when you're doing theoretical numbers, it doesn't always lay down in real life like it does theoretically. In this case, there was plenty of SHOT Show stuff to go. And there's still a third of a ton of it left here. So tons and tons of it here. A bunch of it's are send out. yeah, buy stuff from the Gear website store. There's going to get piles of stuff in there. Got some ammo videos that I've been thinking I probably didn't post yet. So there's a whole bunch of videos coming out on ammo. Of course, it was Valentine's Day, and I think everything else is from last week. So we will now jump into the saved stuff. So if you go to Instagram, one of the things you can do when you look at a post is thumb it up, like it, or whatever. You can give it a comment. You can give it a paper airplane thing, which shoves it to your circles. Or you can click on this little chevron-y looking thing, and that will put it into whatever this is called, your saved posts, I guess. So Ida B. Wells is awesome. I always like to repost stuff with Ida. She was the one that said a Winchester rifle should have a place of honor in every black home, and it should be used for protection, which the law refuses to give. A lot of times they don't put that last part in there because they're trying to be alarmist or whatever. But yeah, I consider Ida one of the first Second Amendment advocates. Then we got the DC Project reposting something from Georgia2A.org, which is the Georgia Carry type of organizations, state level organization. March for the 2nd on March 2nd. Done. That's the best Second Amendment advocacy all year. Can't wait to see what they do there. It's probably going to be good. Georgia, if you didn't know, is all about the guns. What happened? I clicked the next button. So SA, I'm just going to start calling her SA, has been posting about all the horking that's been happening up in Washington State. The compliance with what's happening to Washington is frustrating, to say the least. I believe that there could be multiple entire discussions on the state of the condition of Washington. I think Washington's one of our battlegrounds, but it's a different one than New Jersey, of course. It's a different one than, I don't know, Connecticut. It's a different one than California. It's between New Jersey and California, right? California, you got 7 million gun owners in a state with 40 million people, the same population as Australia, in a state that's not as big as Australia, that takes up our whole chunk of our whole western, ports, western side of the country, our entire shoreline, a chunk of the international border with Mexico, and 7 million gun owners out of 40 million. Then you get New Jersey. I don't know how many million people are there, but I bet you gun owners are a smaller percentage, right next to New York, with a whole different influence in a different state, where California is the entire state, a whole different situation. And then you get Washington, smack dab in the middle of it. Nowhere near the population, nowhere near the same issues as they got in the little tiny crowded metric states. But, it ain't California. But again, hogging up a big chunk of our coast, an international border. I don't know. Is it the international border and the coast? Is that why Oregon is so much better than Washington State? I don't know. So SA is up there doing good work. And if you're not familiar with SA, I recommend going to, is Foss even out here? Is Foss even out here today? Go into Foss's channel from 2 weeks ago, 2 overnights ago, when SA was on, blowing everybody's minds, just doing amazing ability to disseminate information, to articulate the, what's the words, like the seriousness of the situation, or anyway, she's really good at getting the information across, ultimate knowledge of it. Great. Yeah, I feel bad for you. Plus, you're full of weirdos. So just everything's going against you. And you don't you have a giant volcano? Or no, your neighbor state has a giant volcano in their backyard, and they just go around wielding it around everybody, threatening everybody with their volcanic stuff. So here we go. What's going on with this? We see a little bacon bear, mean little angry bacon bear, and then this little puppy. All that puppy wants to do is chew on it. Maybe chew it up a bunch and then leave it laying there, maybe chew it up a little bit more, rip the Velcro off of it, rip it in half maybe, No big deal, but they're not letting that little puppy do it. Is that puppy abuse? I don't know. I don't think you can buy these anymore. I think they're gone. You used to be able to buy these patches off of Island Anchor. I don't think you can do that anymore. So the complete combatant. So the complete combatant. The complete combat ant. What? Yeah, that's why they have an ant as their logo. The complete combatant is a husband and wife duo out of somewhere, Georgia or South Carolina or something like that, somewhere back east in one of the metric states. And lots of interesting stuff. I first became aware of them because they do something called the Mingle, which is where they bring a lot of ladies in the Second Amendment. Well, I guess in the firearms industry, they bring them out to teach them self-defense and firearms type of stuff, but also give them skill sets in being an activist. So they've been bringing ladies specifically together from the firearms industry to give them up training, skill set development, and awareness of Second Amendment advocacy. Super cool couple, a man and wife, or a husband and wife team out of, I don't know where they are, somewhere back east. And this particular one, that's who they are. This particular post is about a hand and body scrub for removing lead. And I'm going to bring that up because I do it once in a while. If you got a beard, if you're one of those ladies out there with a big, thick, full beard, or one of the dudes that have them, or you have hands, or you breathe and eat things, then you might be interested to learn that lead is against us. Lead hates us. And when you shoot things, especially things that shove lead down a tight barrel under the pressure created by expanding gases from a chemical reaction that's very fast, that tends to throw projectiles and vapor of the elements involved all around. And we breathe some of that, but we also get a lot of that deposited on us. And lead is one of those things that accumulates. Since our body can't move it around, it just accumulates wherever it finds itself. It'll usually accumulate in heart organs, I think. And I don't know where else, I'm not a doctor, but it doesn't get flushed out of us like other things, like 9mm. If you were to inhale a bunch of 9mm, your body would just shed the 9mm like it would shed, I don't know, like a insignificant disease or something. Like it would just, we would sweat out the 9mm bullets, I believe. But with lead, it can't do that. So you might want to consider using some kind of a hand and or beard wash when you go to the range. Because think about how much stuff is happening in front of our faces, whether you're shooting a rifle with a breech that opens, or some kind of semi-automatic rifle. They talk about the violence of semi-automatics, but they never talk about the lead vapor that gets expelled from the action of a semi-automatic. That's happening in front of your eyes and in front of your beard. And often people will not think about any of that, go shooting or whatever, do their thing, and then go spend the rest of the day wiping nachos all over their beard and then eating them. And all you got to do is wipe some of this lead removing wipe all over, and it adheres to the lead and removes it from you. So they make hand wipes. I guess this is some kind of goop, but they also make baby wipes. And that's what I'd recommend, is something that you can wipe on your hands that will attract the lead and get rid of it or neutralize it or whatever it does. It uses science. You don't have to worry about it. Science has already figured this out. But you wipe it all over yourself, and now lead has no chance. You don't have to worry about it. So a lot of people don't pay attention to that until you get lead poisoning. And from what I understand, lead poisoning sucks butts. So if you don't want to get lead poisoning, you might want to consider thinking about how to get the lead out of you or away from you. And I imagine this is something about that. It says Grunt Go Tactical is not only donating a beautiful gift basket for one Lucky Door prize winner, but Anna will also be in attendance at the Mingle. She will get there early both days and be available on Sunday afternoon for you to purchase her favorite goat milk items. Don't forget her excellent line of products for your pups. It's called Project Fur Missile. Well, all right, I don't know what any of that is, but this says clean heavy metals, and I'm guessing that's some sort of lead remover. I wonder if you make lead remover out of goats. That sounds interesting. Here is the post that was reposted earlier about that whole March for the 2nd on March 2nd. I'm so pissed that Arizona does ours on the 19th of February. It's a stupid day to do it. February 2nd makes sense, but March 2nd is the most sense. Oh, I guess we're not marching, but still. All right, I guess that's it. So, oh no, we have one more. This is because of teachers. Today's National Caregivers Day. I guess it's not teachers. We're trying to take credit for caregivers. Today's National Caregivers Day, a day in which we honor those who who give endlessly of their own time and energy to help our loved ones live better lives. It especially applies to those caregivers, not teachers, who help our service members and veterans who have incurred or aggravated a serious injury or illness and require long-term care, in-home care, health care, or hospice. In some instances, our nation's Green Berets become caregivers to their spouses or children who live with injuries or illnesses that require long-term care. At the Green Beret Foundation, the Silver Star Family Support Fund provides caregiver education and training. Employment and workplace support and physical and mental health care needs are not covered by the Department of Defense, or for those whose health care needs are not covered by the Department of Defense. The fund supports caregivers who are providing care for Berets, service members, veterans, spouses, or children. So it's unfortunate, but I don't really care that the government doesn't take care of every veteran because we don't need them. The government can do what they want to do. We, as veterans or anybody who wants to help out, don't need the government to help us. So organizations can do stuff, but in this case, the organizations are made up of caregivers. And there's actually quite a few military holidays or months, actually almost every single month of the year, but most times throughout the year are divided into times we can take a moment to appreciate those who are often overlooked. And so much of the support and infrastructure is overlooked to our peril, to our detriment. The reason that we run into problems where people freak out over supply chains is because they don't understand the supply chain. They don't appreciate the truckers, the cleaning crews, the maids, the restockers, the people that do all the work all night, that make the world not be a filthy mess like it would be for all the users who use the thing all day. But again, there's the military has done things bad and it's done things good. And one of the good things has been to create times, specific, schedule times throughout the year to focus on those who are often overlooked. So yeah, think about caregivers instead of the sick people who are often getting all the attention. I think that's it. Let's go through quickly. So let's see. Let's just take a quick look at what Instagram offers. I subscribe to or follow whatever it's called on Instagram. I follow 885 accounts. So that's not everybody who follows me. I don't just follow back. And I don't follow just my friends, obviously. That's 855 accounts. So let's see who all's in here. Gun Shop, Sporting a Gun, Fear, Gabby, being awesome. Coleon Noir, bragging about something. Triggerology, talking about an event. Clover, plugging something he's chilling for. Scuba, I don't know, complaining. Teresa, kind of laughing at a meme. Mil-Spec Monkey. This is one of the dudes that got me into covering SHOT Show in the first place. Mil-Spec Monkey, if you're not familiar, is the guy that's invented most of the patches that have been around forever. Was one of the first people in the morale patch game. Him and two other dudes, him, SMG Lee, and Military Moron, were the only people that even brought a video camera as individuals to SHOT Show pre-2009 when we started bringing one. Everything pre-2009 that you've seen in video from SHOT Show is probably Mil-Spec Monkey, especially if it's good. He's done some collaborations with gear manufacturers over the years, so he's got things like these glasses that have a little cutout for, his hat with the brim with a little cutout. It's also got these little pockets so that Ear Pro can be in your hat and stuff. He's got all kinds of Velcro on it. And then, of course, the patches. So he's had... he's had Mil-Spec Monkey, the store, forever, since the early 2000s, and offered morale patches since. Like I say, some of the morale patches that are most iconic or like been around the longest, like the Space Shuttle Door Gunner, those are all his. The Fun Meter, that's him. people have saying, oh, like Fun Meter. It's like one of the most ripped off ones. So anyway, Milspunk Monkey's cool dude, and this is just a new patch. He's doing some flowers, it looks like, and Whitteman's pinups. Got NRA doing a politic thing. The complete combatant. Plan, do, check, act. Some kind of tactic, I guess. This is the Pima Air Museum here in Arizona, or here in Tucson, showing some pictures, usually of a plane that was built today or something like that. A place in Austin selling suppressors. Walk the Talk America, bragging about Lipsy's renews the support. Walk the Talk America for the second consecutive year. Lipsy's is doing a national shootings, or donates $10,000 to help further its mission to bridge the gap between mental health awareness and the firearms industry. So that's cool. Got a leather company emulating Aussie holster of some sort. Got gun policy being boring. Sometimes they're interesting, sometimes they're boring. National African American Gun Owner Association doing a thing about Millie Bailey, 104 years old. U.S. Army veteran. Millie grew up in the Deep South during World War II. She joined the Army, where she eventually became the commander of the women's unit. That's pretty cool. 104 years old. She's doing something right. That's some girl. Coleon Noir getting mad about something. Pawnery has a bunch of little puppies over there. I think he's giving away one, or he's selling one. Little girl one. Oh, and then he's got the other dog in a shark costume, pandering to the shark enthusiasts out there. This is one of the gunsmiths up in Vegas who gunsmiths and does work for the rental ranges, shooting some kind of PPS H-41, I guess. Gun shop up in Cody, Wyoming. Dude who usually peddles fear, but he also talks about classes and stuff. Here's the Army throwing some kind of purple smoke about something. San Diego gun owners, San Diego County gun owners, I guess. Pretty active gun owners account in Southern California. Jared jumping on Wyoming Second Protection Act. Something happens over there, I guess. This dude's John Wiseman's created an account for just posting rifles every day, basically gun porn. Vane Comps checking people up in northern Arizona. National Cowboy Museum always hates guns. War Dog stuff. I don't know what this is. Patch Company, maybe? Ed Calderon, Cowboy Museum, not paying attention to guns again. Pinky Shears, or Pink Shears, I guess. She's a female hunter. Kind of interesting watching her run around hunting all the dang time. She hunts everything. Scottsdale Gun Club, snooty 1911 picture. Oh, is that a 10 millimeter? That's why. Or no, that's a super carry. Is super carry really a chess move, or is super carry a checkers move? Handgun Hideouts. That guy does an interesting use of his channel. Army complaining about something. There are no secrets to success. It's the result of preparation, hard work, and learning from failure. Yeah, that's not very inspirational, Colin Powell. It could be worded at least better, right? Because you're not going to remember that as you're slugging through some mud. Like, at least make it catchy so you can think it to yourself as you're shrugging through some mud, guy. Don't make it all complicated to say. Gun shops plugging guns. Ed Calderon saying about something. Well, there's all these Army pictures coming up. That's weird. Why is Army pushing so many pictures recently? Do they do theirs on Friday or something? Krebs, handgun builder out of Illinois. He keeps posting interesting stuff. He's always been non-traditional AK, so I don't really give him shit, but I wouldn't be following a channel that's putting up weird AKs if I didn't know him. This dude is patch shop in California. He almost never posts anything except pictures of patches. There's another one from Scottsdale Gun Club. If you're super rich, this appeals to you, I guess. Oh, that's a Night Force on there. I don't know what this is. Daniel Defense. Is Daniel Defense really warrant as a Night Force? Really? Tatiana Whitlock's. A couple of hers have come up. Oh, there's Costa. So that's Chris. jumping around in a helicopter. Sounds like at the Knights Armament place. This is the United States Army Marksmanship Unit. They're kind of interesting to look at. Frustrating sometimes. And nothing else. You kind of see not a lot of news. And I follow a lot of Second Amendment advocates. There's just not a lot of posting today from them. So with that, we'll end that. We'll go look at see if anybody else is saying anything good. Otherwise, I think we're wrapping it up. Who am I missing over here? So, oh, there's Echo. Good evening. Right on. Yeah, so I got a little bit of a beard. I just have like a man's beard. I don't have a big giant beard that I'm trying to prove nothing with. But I got the kind of beard when you're too lazy to spend a bunch of money on razors. So that's the thing is whenever our one friend got lead poisoning a long time ago, I think, and he's not an idiot, and he's definitely willing to tell you his position on stuff. So he's always had these little hand wipe things that you know like what do you call them, baby wipes or whatever, that come in a little tube and you just pull one out like a Kleenex or something. And he would wipe his hands and his face and everything after we're shooting, and that we would with him. And you know, somebody's going to give me a free hand wipe, I don't care. But he would bug us. And once I found out it wasn't just like he had nothing else to do, he wasn't selling us the hand wipes or nothing. And once he started talking more about what it was like to have the lead poisoning, like you don't want lead poisoning. So anyway, so ever since, well, I can't say, I don't shoot that much, but if I was shooting and I had the opportunity, I'd definitely grab some of them wipes. For me, the wipes were the way to go because the hand lotion, like that other stuff we were looking at the picture, seems like where's the lead going, right? We got to have a paper towel or you're going to wipe it off in your pants or something. So the baby wipe gave you a place, you know, it gave a suspension or matrix for the lead to drop into. So Smeggy saying wipe it on a range bag. Yeah, that'd probably be a good idea too. I don't care too much. I'm not like paranoid about it, but it was just, I guess what I was saying is he would give us those wipes. And once you wipe your hands, of course, you're going to see the thing get dirty. I mean, obviously, right? Your hands are dirty. But when I would wipe my mouth off, the beard, you know, my beard all around my mouth, whatever you want to call that, it's amazing how much crap is in our beards after we're shooting. So yeah, ever since I've been aware of that, I mention it. And since they posted about it, I was going to take that opportunity. But even if you don't use lead, I don't know how to say that. I'm not a doctor. I'm assuming if you did something, it's better than nothing. But I'm pretty sure the lead stuff is all about being some kind of lead magnet or some kind of a lead neutralizer. It's something about the goop they put in there helps remove the lead or whatever. Let's see. Oh, look. So he's just threatening us with his volcano. Oh, it's 11,000 years overdue, eh? So what, are we supposed to be scared of your volcano? Why don't you quit wielding your volcano around, your assault volcano around? Sure, your assault volcano can take out a bunch of states. We're aware of it. Threatening us with it. They put it up in such a high spot that even from states away, you can even see their volcano. They don't like hide it. They don't consider it a concealed volcano and use some discretion. Instead, they open carry the volcano so that everybody's got to see it. If you fly even near it, there's their volcano looming above you. Echo saying a lot of pesticides use heavy metals as their primary ingredient to kill. My guess is this removes all heavy metals from the surface of your skin. Oh, that's an awesome point. I never thought about that. But yeah, how would a thing, I mean, I guess they could use science to grab just the lead, but why would they when they could grab all the heavy metals? And there's certainly other noxious junk in guns, right? Because guns are so violent and horrible. They're basically made out of cancer and poison. They take a bunch of cancer and poison and melt it together, and that's how a gun is made. And then as you shoot the gun, debris of cancer and poison sprays out of it, solvents and cancer, and it's horrible. Oh, well, I was way behind. Wood says he's taught for 20 years now. Take a break, man. You can have lunch. Dropped my girl off at the studio next to Monkey. Oh, I didn't know I thought you were saying that you got a monkey. I was pretty impressed. But then he's saying that I didn't know you lived near there either. I thought he was somewhere else in California. That's super interesting. Wow, that is super interesting. I had no idea. I guess when I assume someone lives in California, I think LA. I forgot about the rest of the state. Shark Week is the summer. Oh. Got to remember to get some wipes. I usually shoot indoors. I wonder if that Aegis would get into something like that, if that's something that's possible for them to add to their inventory. P&W was responding to my comment on volcanoes. Yeah, I understand. I know that they threaten you with their volcano all the time. You don't have to worry about it. There's other states that don't have volcanoes, and we're on your side. Well, actually, we have volcanoes, but we don't use our volcanoes against anyone. We keep our volcanoes well, our volcanoes are more polite, let's just say. Like our volcanoes don't go around spewing lava all over the place like some people's volcanoes. And our volcanoes barely gurgle all kinds of precious gold and copper and silver to the surface, and then maybe they hiccup a little obsidian. We don't threaten the entire continent by blowing masses of debris off into the atmosphere and create a volcanic winter. All we do is gurgle a bunch of gold and copper and silver out of the molten parts of the planet and give it to you. We're basically offering resources. Our volcanoes are beneficial, are there to help. Our volcanoes are caregivers, and we barely ever use them. We haven't even used them in forever, and we certainly don't threaten New Mexico with them. All right, well, Arizona is better than Washington. We figured that out. Volcanoes are basically unnecessary. Why couldn't we have some common sense volcano laws? Seriously? Most of Mount St. Helens landed elsewhere. See, exactly. You're trying to nation build. You're trying to Washington build. You're trying to give the rest of the country a whole little layer of Washington on top of it. All right, now this has erupted into nonsense. It's ruined the show. Volcano topic, cancerous to 2A. All right, so with that, we're done. Thanks everybody for showing up. I'm probably missing stuff. We'll do another commercial here. Guess what? If you buy stuff from our store, I'm flush with SHOT Show patches. Can't say I can give you any one you want anymore, but I got a bunch of them. So if you buy stuff from the store, leave a little comment on there, the kind of stuff you like from the list of stuff we got available. Not all there anymore, but a chunk of it is. We'll put a commercial up for the store, then we'll end it. Thanks everybody for showing up. Gizzard's probably after corking us. We're probably not going to do a fireside chat tonight, but might be one tomorrow night, especially if there's any interest in it. So let us know.
GearWebsites.com is your source for firearms-based playing cards and books. We also have mugs, shirts, and posters with designs that we've made live. Of course, we have patches. Every Friday is Free Patch Friday. We appreciate your support. Thank you for shopping at GearWebsites.com.
Is this week a FOSS week? No, I guess not. That was last week, right? So this week you've got G23. This dude will do a show on Saturday often, and then Barbecue doesn't show up to this show. He doesn't have time for this show, but Barbecue does a meat show on Saturday, and then Locked and Loaded Latinos will be doing a show tomorrow. Brooke Cheney does the suicide awareness, the suicide prevention Saturday. Definitely worth checking out. Communist bots suck butts. And now we can end it.
So let us know what you think. We'll be watching the comments wherever you find the video, over on gunstreamer.com or on guntube.org.
Thank you for supporting our projects. If you'd like to buy us a cup of coffee, check out our Patreon channel.
The guys and gals of gunwebsites.com encourages you to take a CCW class every year, practice at least once a month, and carry every day. Thank you for watching gunwebsites.com.